Hello everyone, I'm Adrian Atkinson. Welcome to this weekend edition of Jamaica Magazine. There's a lot on our agenda today as we give you information for your health, getting on the road legally, and celebrate one of our capital's own who is helping to make local government work for your betterment. Please stick around.
We need trees if we are to be able to live on this planet. So I want to encourage you to join and partner with the My Tree Legacy Promotion and support your alma mater. For me, St. Peter and Paul, Campion College, University of West Indies, roll out and plant some trees.
Register your alma mater for the Forestry Department's My Tree Legacy Promotion and be a part of the preservation of Jamaica, land we love. Let us highlight your contribution. Submit videos or pictures of you leaving your mark. Every tree counts. Plant a tree today and keep climate change away.
A health threat to many Jamaicans is diabetes, but this condition can be prevented. Even if you develop it, there are treatment options. Let's see what they are.
Diabetes is a serious chronic lifestyle disease affecting millions of people over the world and continues to increase. Diabetes affects how your body turns food into energy. It is a disease in which your blood glucose or blood sugar levels are too high, and glucose comes from the food you eat. Insulin is a hormone that helps the glucose get into your cells to give energy. Sometimes your body doesn't make enough or any at all, doesn't make any insulin, and so it doesn't use the insulin well. Glucose then stays in your blood and doesn't reach your cells. Over time, having too much glucose in your blood can cause complications. Example, situations with the kidney, heart disease, and so on. Although diabetes has no cure, there are steps you can take to manage your diabetes and stay healthy.
It is through lifestyle that we manage the risk of diabetes. Those behaviors include increased physical activity, a healthy diet, routine health checks, and strict adherence to medication. The ministry will be championing the cause of persons living with diabetes. We have updated our clinical management guidelines, which is now available on our website, and we will be working on increasing access to testing through the introduction of point-of-care testing. This methodology of testing is the gold standard for monitoring and control of diabetes. Our agency, the National Health Fund, will continue to support persons through the provision of diabetic medication and supplies, and I encourage persons with diabetes to enroll in the NHF card program to access this benefit.
The person with diabetes should really have an opportunity to sit down with a trained clinician who is able to help them to understand the concepts of diabetes self-management, education, and support. There are 4 core areas the patient must begin to understand. How and when to take medication. That's the first one. If you take insulin, then you need to know how does your insulin work and how do you eat in relation to the insulin. Then there are the people who have type 2 diabetes, which commonly start off with education on activity and just healthy nutrition. And then we add 1 of 5 classes of oral agents. And then we teach them how to make food, how to eat food. Also, we think of things like target blood pressure. Is your weight healthy, or do you need to lose a little weight? And most importantly, how do you feel? What is your quality of life? All of this is what we focus on. Also, when you get your lab work done, what is your hemoglobin A1c? The target should be 7% or less. Keep that number in your mind. Diabetes damages the feet, the kidney, and the eyes at first, and then eventually we also find it can cause coronary vascular disease too. But for foot care, the person with diabetes every day, you wash your feet, wash them properly. Dry your feet, dry between the toes. Moisturize your feet, but do not put moisturizer between the toes. Make sure that you wear cotton socks, right? If you're going to have your toes cut by somebody trained who knows how to cut them. Examine your feet every day. Do not walk barefoot. Please, please, please do not walk barefooted, because if you injure or cause trauma to the feet, you may not feel it because your diabetes has damaged the nerves to the feet. And finally, when you buy shoes that are comfortable and that you can wear without causing blisters or trauma to the feet. Now we have research that shows that I can prevent the eye damage, the kidney damage, the foot damage, and the amputations by just keeping my blood glucoses under control and taking care of myself.
There's no such thing as a diabetic diet, but it's all about how much I eat, the timing of my meals. So it's your portion sizes is what is important. Now, what we do recommend is that persons eat at least 3 balanced meals per day and small snacks. Snacks usually mean smaller, more nourishing meals, which we usually recommend that it be your fruits, your vegetables, or you can also use your nuts. Each meal or snack should contain protein because we need it to be balanced as well. Each meal should contain at least your protein and your fat. And we also want them to select a variety of foods from all the food groups. So there is some recommendations about the amount of fruits that you should eat per day. We usually say 2 to 3 servings. We want you to include a variety of vegetables daily. We also want you to include more peas, beans, and nuts in your daily meals. Reduce your intake of salty and processed foods, and to reduce your intake of fats and oils, and that of sugary foods and drinks. You aim for foods that have high sources of fiber, such as your whole wheat bread, whole grain rice, flour, more of your ground provisions. They will give you fiber, right? And that will slow down the rate at which your body breaks down the food, so you won't have a rapid increase in your blood sugar levels, versus if you eat foods that are low in these added fibers. When you're having alcohol as a person living with diabetes, is not to have it on an empty stomach, because it gives the risk of lowering your blood sugar. And also what we want you to do is that once you have diabetes, we do not really recommend the mixed drinks, so as to say, because they usually have a sweetened base. For women, it's usually you can have a drink per day, and for men is no more than 2 drinks. And what is a drink? Usually for beer, it's not more than 12 ounces, and for like a shot, is usually a shot which is about 1.5 ounces, and for wine, recommendation is usually about 5 ounces thereabout.
There are several researches that have shown that physical activity, when done properly, for persons who are diabetic, again you heard it, allows you to use up glucose. For children, the recommendation is at least 60 minutes, 5 days a week of moderate to vigorous activity, and it must be a combination of muscle and bone strengthening activity. That's the recommendation for our children. For adults, it's at least 30 minutes, 5 days a week to get some health benefit, meaning increase circulation, reduce stress. And for the elderly, it's at least 30 minutes, 5 days a week. If you're a diabetic patient, these are some of the activities that are very good for you. Swimming, jogging, dancing, these activities, they're not very vigorous. You maintain them at a low to moderate pace, and it's a very effective way of managing and controlling your blood glucose or your blood sugar. If you are going to start a physical activity program, that you check with your doctor before you start, because if you have a condition, if you're diabetic, hypertensive, you have any other medical condition, your doctor will determine the intensity level, the type of activities that you can do.
Persons living with diabetes mellitus have multiple psychosocial issues related to diabetes management and its complications even before COVID. And there's an entity called diabetic distress, which refers to the negative emotions such as feeling hopeless, angry, or frustrated that persons who are diagnosed with diabetes experience, especially if they lack social support. I must mention we have the mental health helpline, which is 888-639-5433, or simply remember 888-NEW LIFE, which is a 24-hour, 7 days per week psychological support produced by psychologists. When you call this number, they can provide emotional support for you. If you are feeling any form of emotional distress, they can provide support for you, and where you need additional help, they will direct you to additional help.
Encourage those around you who have not gotten their vaccine to get it. We all need to be protected for each of us to feel protected. It's a one for all for one type of scenario. Don't use the side effects to discourage others, because I've had the vaccine myself. It is your body building the protection against the virus. And so interpret the side effects as a positive thing. Don't use the side effects to not take the second dose. To achieve the full protection, you need the second dose.
You've been watching since the beginning, right? Well, remember I said we will be helping you to get on the road legally. Well, it's time to gas up and drive to the destination of your choice after you have secured your driver's license.
So, you've acquired your provisional or learner's driver's license, and the next step is getting the real deal. Well, the process for getting each is a bit different, but nonetheless very achievable.
Now, the fundamental difference between the provisional and the driver's license now is that with the driver's license you can drive by yourself, but with the provisional, an instructor have to be there with you, must be there with you at all times. Somebody who have a driver's license must be with you. So once you acquire the driver's license now, you can drive by your own.
But before we go in to get this piece of document, we must have an idea of the type of license that we're applying for. Here in Jamaica, there are 3 categories available: a motorcycle license, a private license for motor cars only, and a general license, which is for any vehicle including motorcycles and public passenger vehicles. Now it's time to head to an Island Traffic Authority depot. But don't leave these important documents: a completed driver's license application form, signed by a Justice of the Peace or a notary public, the examination fee receipt, your provisional driver's license or learner's permit, and 3 passport-size photographs, also signed by a JP or notary public.
First step we need to do is that we must be successful in the road code test, and we must acquire the provisional driver's license. Now, when you would have gone to your instructor, right? Your instructor would then decide when you are ready to go and do the test. You should prepare yourself for 3 things: the written test, the yard test, and the road test. You need to know how to navigate that motor vehicle, right, safely without hitting down anyone. So you need to be in control of the vehicle, right? know when to brake, know when to gas, know when to turn, etc. Ensure that you know your road code, right? Know your road signs, know your road markings, know the responsibility of drivers, know the responsibility of other road users. Understand what the road marking signs mean, the white line mean, and know what they mean, and obey them. So those things are very critical, right? So once you know these things, right, then you're ready to do the written test. The written test have to deal with driving questions, driving issues.
It's mandatory for all applicants to complete this written test. Individuals are required to read a sentence, then complete the written test where the knowledge of vehicle mechanics will be tested for general license applicants.
And after you have passed the written test, then we take it to the yard test.
During the yard test, applicants' ability to start on a gradient or hill, parallel park, and reverse will be assessed.
So dear, so now you learn hill start. Your instructor should teach you hill start, how to start on the hill, so you don't run back and create mayhem and crashing people behind you. So again, controlling the vehicle, very critical, right? So once you have done the hill start, you do the yard test, how you navigate the navigate on the road network. Just as how you would have to navigate out there in the real world. So we put you in that control. It's a control environment, right? So we carry you through that navigatory process. Once you have exercised that safely, right, that is good. Another component of it is that we need to see a reversing skills. We want to see that reversing skill being executed, and we want it to be done safely without creating any imbalances in the traffic environment. Once you have completed the yard test, the yard operations, yes, then we can take you out to the road. Because you'd have proven to us that we must take you out to the road, right? Now once we have taken you out to the road now, we give you some instructions, and the instructions should be followed, right? And you are assessed again. Once you have passed all three components, then a certificate of competence will be issued with respect to you. Now that certificate of competence now would then be used as the instrument that would allow you to access the technology of a driver's license, right? And the tax office now would be the ones that would issue you with that card, allowing you to drive for that period of time. If you have not executed the components properly, you will then be required to come back, right, to do the components that you have failed. Right? So those things would have been documented, what you pass, and whatever you fail, you will be required to come back and do it.
And there you have it, the Island Traffic Authority's simple steps to help you achieve your very own driver's license.
Motorists, when driving on the road, here are some simple reminders. Look out for and extend courtesy to all road users. Give plenty of room to pedestrians, especially in wet weather. Drive slowly. No bother wet them up. Slow down when approaching a pedestrian crossing or school, and always be prepared to stop. Remember, a school zone is a 30-kilometer zone. Cut your speed. Drivers of large and slow-moving vehicles should always keep in the far left hand of a dual carriageway. Keep it simple. Drive left and pass right. These are just simple reminders of your road duties. Drive safely.
Before drawing the curtains on today's show, we are paying tribute to one of Kingston's sons. He was among the many Jamaicans given national honors and awards back in Heritage Month. I'm talking about Kingston's mayor and his contribution to local government.
His Worship the Mayor, Senator Councillor Delroy Hugh Williams, is one of over 200 Jamaicans who have received national honors and awards for 2021. He is being recognized for his contribution to public service in the area of local government.
We at the Kingston and St. Andrew Municipal Corporation are exceedingly happy to have learnt of the conferment of the award of the Order of Distinction in the rank of Commander of our Mayor and Chairman, Senator and Councillor Delroy Williams.
He lead a good council as to collective decisions from councillors. He's not a person that will just run with a one-man show thing. He's a keen listener and he acts from that. So I would say that that's an excellent person receiving such award.
Mayor Williams began his career as a public servant at the grassroots level within the Ministry of Local Government. But his interest in politics and representational leadership was ignited much earlier.
I grew up in what we call, people refer to as Cockburn Pen, and which is a part of the General Olympic Gardens community. I grew up there, and politics has always been a major feature of community life in that community. So I was from a very early age exposed to politics. And so I would say I got my foundation and liking for politics during my early years.
Besides that strong influence, the need for a proper education was fixed as a key priority for young Williams, who attended the Calabar High School, where he played football and was part of the Manning Cup team.
And I went to university. I graduated from university and started working just a regular job like any graduate of the university. And then, but I was still participating in the political life of the community that I grew up in. And so it's just while participating there, during elections and so forth, that person started to ask me if I would be interested in representing them at the level of councillor.
In 2003, Williams was elected councillor for the Seavright Gardens Division in the Kingston and St. Andrew Municipal Corporation, the KSAMC. 13 years later, he would be sworn in as the KSAMC's chairman. Since that appointment, his vision for Kingston has been to transform the city into a sustainable tourist and business hub, while creating a network of Caribbean cities for regional integration and cooperation. Mayor Williams' greatest initiative to date has been the Ward Theatre Restoration Project, which aims to have the theatre fully restored and functioning before the end of his tenure.
We've also been partnering with the Jamaica Social Investment Fund with relation to the revetment works along Harbour Street to ensure that the Kingston Harbour remains an attractive space, and we've also been developing other creative ideas and innovative ideas around the harbour space. We're looking at also our homeless population. We're almost complete with the new transitional centre for the homeless at the top of King Street, with support from the Ministry of Local Government and Rural Development. Along with that, we have started also in-house various systems and procedures which are moving from a paper-based to more electronic-based systems that allow us to be more accountable, transparent and responsive to the demands of our public.
Another positive project in the city is the Crossroads Clock, erected to honor the volunteers from Kingston and St. Andrew who fought and died during the Second World War. There is also the Miss Lou Square project in Gordon Town.
By nature, Mayor Williams is a people person. He is known widely as one of the more affable, kind, approachable leaders that we have in the local government system. He's a stickler for discipline, hard work, and ensures that he puts his full energy into the many projects, programs, and policies that we have here at the Kingston and St. Andrew Municipal Corporation.
I'd want to think that most of those characteristics was born out of his family background, growing up with his grandma back in the days in the Cockburn Pen area, that led him to the person who he is.
Mayor Williams is a firm believer and supporter of the creative industries as a means of transformation. And so the municipality has been putting history and culture on display for recreation and leisure and entertainment.
We are pursuing Culture Key, which is just around where we are now with the murals and speaking about our creativity as a people, the evolution of our music, which is depicted in these murals,
All of this sits well with the desire to make Kingston a destination city for tourism. Mayor Williams is also advancing his vision of Kingston as the light of the Caribbean Sea.
We intend to nurture a generation of young people where the imaginative faculties are so strong and developed, nurtured and developed, that we would have in the city of Kingston persons who are solving problems across the region and indeed across the globe. That's a part of the vision.
Under the leadership of Mayor Williams, the municipality continues to amplify conversations which have been growing more and more positive around the redevelopment of downtown Kingston.
Private investors are becoming far more confident in the redevelopment of downtown, and they are investing in downtown.
For him, the national honor of membership in the Order of Distinction in the rank of Commander is important and humbling.
We do what we're doing because we enjoy doing it and we see the need for it to be done. We really want to advance our country, to advance our society, and the work that we do, we believe that it goes a far way into advancing the society that we wish to create, which is a kind and gentle society, a caring society. It's important because to think that the highest officers of government would sit and contemplate your contribution to the society in the area of local government and community development. It's appreciated, and one couldn't ask for better.
It's the 11th staging of the JIS Heritage Competition. Students, show your national pride by entering the essay, poster and photo competition. Primary school students, enter the essay competition. Triumphant, proud and free. Use this phrase from the song Jamaica Land of Beauty to explain our nation's heritage and achievements. High school students, design a poster that best portrays the phrase triumphant, proud and free. And university students, capture a photo that depicts the phrase triumphant, proud and free. Haven't sent in your entries yet? There's still time. The competition has been extended to November 7. Visit jis.gov.jm for guidelines. Triumphant, proud and free. The JIS Heritage Competition 2021.
We've run out of time today, but certainly not stories and good news to tell. So head over to JIS's website and YouTube channel for much more. And for a fresh offering, we'll be here on this station tomorrow as well. Join us then and pay us a visit anytime on all our social media platforms. Until then, I'm Adrian Atkinson on behalf of the entire production team saying thank you so much for your company and do take care.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.